officially my kids are now, they're doing virtual next week. So they will not be in a classroom for a month. We don't go back until like the middle of January to allow for quarantining after the holidays. So I'll talk more about that in a minute. While we're waiting on people to join, just reminding you to go to coopedup.com. Check my stuff out there. Also, follow me on Instagram. Hey, Mama, good to see you. And don't forget to click the bell for notifications to follow me on things. Also, today is going to be is kind of an Ask Me Anything. I don't think I have a little text thing for that. Sticky note. Let's see. I'm playing with all the new toys here. Ask me anything. Ask. Does that work? No, what did I do? Technology. Okay, there we go. Well, sticky note on the screen. That's what they're calling that. So hope you're doing well. Hope everyone is doing well and hope they had a great week. We are inching closer to the end of 2020. To put my co-host here. Unida's asking, what am I drinking? It's some Sauvignon Blanc from a box, because that's how I roll. It's so funny. This is actually the second time today I've talked about this. I am convinced that when I switched from bottle to box wine at the beginning of the pandemic, that there was a vicious rumor going around the neighborhood that I'd sobered up because they couldn't hear on Tuesdays all of the clinking and the recycling. It's now just full of cardboard. You know what, though? I drink so much more now that we're drinking from a box because it's a lot harder to regulate the quantity because there's no visual indicator. I need one where it's got like one of those, like where you look at the side of your shampoo bottle or whatever, and you can see what the level is. That's what I need on my wine. It'd also be great. I would love it if I could just pull the little bladder out and put it into something else that's in my refrigerator instead of the cardboard. But here we are. Maybe someone needs to invent an ecologically friendly box of wine. I'm sure that already exists. So anyway, so it's Ask Me Anything today. I've got a few things to talk about, but and I feel like all my neighbors can hear me clanking bottles. It's like Dolby Digital. Yes. I used to joke that our street, because we're all heavy drinkers on the street, our street sounded like Santa's sleigh flying over every Tuesday afternoon when the recycling can thing was coming by. Yes. And Crystal's drinking a jalapeno pineapple margarita. Exciting. I actually like jalapeno drinks. That sounds really good. A little kick in it. Yeah. And Diane's like, our recycling guys are like, dang. I bet they laugh. I bet sometimes like the recycling people come by and they're like, holy shit. Like what? In our whole neighborhood, the people who are here, they must be, can you get a contact high from slushing that much booze around? I don't know. And stab it with a straw like a Capri Sun. Just walk. That would be sad. That would be sad. Anyway, so ask me anything. In the meantime, I've got some stuff to talk about. I saw on the cover of the Wall Street Journal today, there's an article that happened to come out today, and I was talking about this last night on my Facebook about Christmas parties, work Christmas parties. So I've seen a few people posting pictures from their work Christmas parties, and I'm like, have I lost my mind? Like, are these really okay? I mean, and then some people are like, we don't shame people for wearing masks. You shouldn't shame people for not wearing masks and getting together. I'm like, 100% I can, because you're doing it wrong. Like, that's the whole point of shame. If you're feeling shame, good for you. Anyway, this morning on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, there was an article about how companies are doing Christmas parties this year. The most painful thing I have ever read. Like, maybe that's exaggerating a little bit, but it was so basically they're doing all these virtual things, like forcing people still to come. I already don't like company Christmas parties to begin with, because I feel, especially if they're after hours, because I don't feel like I have any right to intrude on my employees. For my company, what we do is I take everyone to lunch, to like the mansion or something, some nice lunch during the business day, and then we're done, and we go home after that. Like, that's it. I just don't like that evening thing, black tie kind of thing, all of that. I just do not like it. Plus, it's awkward, and you're hanging out, and everyone shows up, and then as soon as the boss leaves, everyone's like, "Peace out, bitches." But everyone has to like watching where the boss is, right? I just do not like them at all. And I've been in charge of throwing them for a company that I worked for before I started my firm, like a couple of companies ago. But anyway, so all of these people are like, we're trying to figure out how to make it work. So it was interesting in the article, though. It was all managers or like company CEOs or vice presidents who were like, we have to do these things. It's about morale and blah, blah, blah. Every employee that they interviewed was like, this sucks balls, basically. They're like, this was awkward. I mean, to do it on a Zoom, especially, like, it's already awkward enough going to a party and you find like your two work friends and you talk to them, right? And then you ignore everybody else or make fun of everybody else. But when you're a bunch of little squares, like a Brady Bunch thing, and the CEO is on there, everyone wants to be sucking the CEO's ass and those kinds of things. So he or she ends up like steamrolling the thing and kind of carrying it all. And everyone else is just like at home. It is so weird. We have a life, and work is part of your life. But I let them get haircuts during the day. Our work calendar has random dog grooming appointments and stuff on it. I don't care. Like, literally, I would rather you go to Target on a Wednesday afternoon and be less stressed than having to deal with that on the weekend. Because you know what? Everyone's got one of these now, and there are times that I do need to get them to do stuff on the weekends too, right? So it's all a balance, or it's not balance, but you know what I mean. It's all a. I don't think work should only happen during a certain day part, and life happens during a certain thing. That's it's like a circle. But anyway, and then people feel guilted about not going, or they're shamed. Like I saw someone post on my thing last night that he was homesick with like the flu, and his boss told him it was like tacky that he didn't show up anyway to the party. There are some gross people out there, y'all. So anyway, but all of the employees, so if the employees were planning the party, they were tasked with planning the party. Ultimately, their conclusion was, don't do anything and just split the money or donate the money or something, like leave us alone. Like, it's enough. And we're on this Zoom shit all day anyway, right? And then there was one, Aaron mentioned, was talking about this to me earlier. There was this one that did a virtual beach party where everyone got an avatar and they had to show up at this beach and they could dance and hang out and go table to table and talk to people. That sounds weird to me too. I don't know. It feels like we're just trying to make fetch happen. That's exactly what it feels like to me. Like, we're just trying to make fetch happen, and it's not happening. So, and Michelle, you had Bernie Sanders Groove today by Mobile Pet Love. They're great. We actually now use DFW Puppy Cuts, but we used Pet Love before that. They're good stuff. And we haven't had a Christmas party since the recession of 2008. It's always been a team lunch. That's all I do. I do a team lunch. I give them a big ass bonus. And yeah, so, and COVID Christmas parties are so dumb. I agree. When's the Christmas reindeer erection tour? Probably Monday. So we are going to just buckle down this weekend, get the house ready, because Todd's parents arrive. We're quarantining. They're quarantining. They arrive next Saturday. So we have to have everything done before then. Plus, I just want to get it done. So on Monday, I'm tentatively planning to give y'all a Christmas tour of the house on Monday. Oh, no pressure. No pressure, Koopa. Yeah, okay. Have y'all listened to Taylor Swift's new album? It dropped last night at midnight. They announced it, I think, yesterday. Like, it was barely, or maybe the day before. It was like really short notice. And Todd and I were having a discussion about this earlier today as we were having lunch. Like, what is the benefit of doing this way? I think it's cool. Todd's like, well, remember when Adele 5 years ago released her album? And it was like, TV special and this and this and this and this and this and this. No, it's finally here. Like, the album, like they teased the singles and all that kind of stuff. And now, like, T Swift and Beyonce and all these people are just dropping their albums, right? Like, with no notice. And Todd was like, why is that? Like, I would think that the promotional benefit would be greater for a teaser campaign, stringing it out or whatever. here's what I actually think that it's genius to do it the way they're doing it, where they just drop it. Because here's the deal. If it gets a shit ton of publicity like the minute it happens, and then all the people then can act on it, right? And realistically, the marketing campaign is not for people like Todd or me anyway, since we're not huge like Taylor Swift fans, right? And so now if Adele did it, I'd be all over that. But it's to get all of the what's the squad? What's Taylor's her squad? I can't remember what she calls it. But all of the fans like, it's tonight, stay up till midnight tonight. Like it's like that, right? And so I think that that's what it is talking about. And next Saturday is tomorrow. It is not tomorrow. Next Saturday is a week from tomorrow. It is not. Do you ever notice there's somebody watching the show that you don't want watching? Not really. Not really. I pretty much am open to anybody. I give zero fucks about shit like that anyway. I got reported once for a parent complained at our school that I'm the school board trustee president, and I behave on social media in a way that is not very becoming of a school board president. This was 5 years ago when I first got it. And the person who told me about this, another trustee, I was like, tell them to fuck off. They knew exactly who I was when they picked me for the position. I didn't overnight say, "Ooh, I'm the president now. Let's say fuck a lot," right? That was not the case. And I didn't even campaign for it. I was asked to do it. So, and I've been very successful at it. But so that's kind of my mentality. It's like, you know what you're getting yourself into. I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this for silliness. I'm shameless. All of that. Eric said, thank God our school's not doing a virtual holiday party. Teachers' parties tend to be lame in the best of circumstances. I can imagine. And Sandy did listen to Taylor Swift once I watched Carrie's story on Instagram this morning. I listened to like the first 3 songs and then I stopped. Not because it was bad. I think the phone rang, or I don't know. I walked out of the room or something like that, and then it played through, I guess. I don't know. It's called Evermore, and it is supposedly like a sassier extension of the other album, Folklore, that just came out. It sounded the same to me. And, Folklore, there are certain songs I like on it, but I think most of it sounds the same. And if you like that sort of thing, you like that sort of thing. So, yeah. And fuck was one of my first words, my mom is saying. I mean, it's the OG. It's the OG vocabulary for me. Although my granddaddy used to, whose birthday would be Sunday, and mine's Monday, because I haven't mentioned that yet. He used to always compliment me saying, Cooper, you can make your point. You are so good at making your point without being vulgar or using bad words. Little did he know. Oh my goodness. Aaron, why did you ask that about somebody watching that I don't want watching? Because I actually am surprised sometimes. Here on the live broadcast, I get maybe 24 people watching it sometimes. But the number of people who say, I watch it at night, or I watch it afterwards, or I watch it on replay or whatever, or how did that turn out? And I'm like, how'd you know about that? Oh, we saw it on your show, right? A lot of people do that. And occasionally it's like, one of Ryan's coworkers, Greg, who lives across the creek from us here, stopped and he said, "Are you the Cooper who does the show? I saw that my coworker or former coworker Ryan was watching it, and I watched it and it was good." I was like, "That was me." Yeah. What else? So, Michelle has a friend who spells fuck with a PH, and I think it makes him not feel like he is being vulgar. No, he's just being stupid. Oh, but anyway, okay, another just totally random topic. And this isn't me asking you anything. How do you keep your avocados from going bad? So here is the lifespan of an avocado in the Koch household. Buy it from the store. And mostly delivered, so I don't pick them out myself, and I don't even know how to pick out a fucking avocado anyway. So buy them in the store, get them home. They're usually too hard to eat. So leave them sitting on the counter. Next thing I know, I touch them and I'm practically putting my thumb through them because they're getting too soft. So I put them in the refrigerator, hoping to slow down the ripening process so that I can eat them. By the time I get around to it, they're bad. And I've spent like $7 on something I can't eat. I usually get 1 or 2 out. It's always the last few that that I feel like I'm being wasteful about. So how do you keep them? And Michelle is saying vacuum sealer. So you put the whole avocado, not peeled or anything. I mean, just the whole green avocado with the skin and all in a vacuum sealer. Okay. And Eric has said that his sister has even asked about me, asked me about you because it somehow pops up on her Facebook that I watch your shows. Koopa Koch, I'm the media. I'm everywhere. There have been a couple of times you paused and indicated that a parent from the school is watching. And that's okay. I don't mind. I'll just make note of it. I don't know if it's more of a mental note in my mind or if it's an I see you watching me and I don't care. So no, I'm talking Michelle. Michelle saying it's after you're cutting it, put it in a vacuum sealer. I'm talking about just like when it is still in a skin on the counter, right? Because I don't actually put a lot of stuff in the fridge because I think we over refrigerate things in America. Tomatoes you should never refrigerate. I don't know why people do that. They lose all flavor. I don't refrigerate most lemons and limes that we get. I have just like a bowl that I put them in. Apples I rarely refrigerate. Grapes I do refrigerate because they just taste better cold. And I think you're supposed to also refrigerate grapes. I think about like where they are in the store and if they're actually actively being chilled or not, and that's kind of how I follow it, right? So if you can help me with that, send me a link, send me a recommendation. I don't know. I just feel like we love avocados, but you can't have them every night. And they're one of the few fruits and vegetables on Weight Watchers that carry points because I think the fat content on them. Man, I was stuffing Christmas cards earlier and I paper cut the shit out of my cuticle and it hurt. I can feel my heart beating in it. By the way, I saw it on a video or something, the best way to actually cut an avocado without like completely destroying it. Because usually, if you try, we had one of those tools where it kind of scrapes it and does it. It still gets all mushy and hairy and all that. Not hairy, but like fuzzy and all of that. So I saw it on this. So you cut it in half and then you I bet Dina would know about the avocado thing. This feels like something that's in her wheelhouse. Dina is like Dina and Carrie are like the most culinary advanced people I know. So I think that y'all would know. But anyway, the avocado, you cut it in half, pop the seed out, and then you put it down face down with the skin still on it. And then you just chop the ends off just a little bit, just enough to kind of square off the ends. And then you can peel it. And then you have the whole half of an avocado that's just been peeled. And then you slice it and you just kind of tap on it and it fans it out. Genius. I might have to make a whole fucking video about that because it is, when I discovered that, it was like life-changing. No more mushy, destroyed avocados. I asked the shopper to pick the brightest green avocados. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't use a shopper though. I just do Walmart or Amazon Fresh, one of those two. If I buy a bag, I put a couple in the fridge in a paper bag immediately, and then a couple sitting out. And if I don't get right away, in the fridge it goes. Smart. What's the paper bag for? Is it just to keep it dark, or like what's the paper bag do? And Eric agrees with me about too much refrigeration. My husband, who is a doctor, puts everything in the refrigerator. Oh, and Michelle says, just don't buy too many at the same time. Sometimes here's the thing. We either eat the fuck out of avocados or we barely touch them, and there's no rhyme or reason to when or how. Because I'll just use them as a side. I'll just cut up avocados as a side with our meal, a little salt and pepper on them. It's yummy, yummy. I love it. What else was I spent a lot of time talking about avocados today too. What else was on my list? Ask me anything. Again, put it in the comments. I was talking about putting mailing Christmas cards. So I'm stuffing. Well, I don't have stamps yet, but I'm stuffing Christmas cards. And here's one of the things that I do that is kind of a weird thing, but I feel it's important to me to do this. I send our family's photo Christmas card to all elected officials who represent me. The governor, senator, president. I've always sent it to the president. Because here's why. Because I want them to see families like mine. And I don't know if they ever see it, but I want someone in their staff or someone in their I don't know what they do with them, throw them away, burn them, I don't know. But it just, I feel like the awareness, that's why I live so openly and talk about it being gay all the time. I feel like it's another way to just say, hey, look at this wholesome family. Look at them. Like, you don't want to take away their rights, do you? So I do it. This year, though, I'm not sending one to the president because he's on his way out and the new one won't get it. And I actually don't even care what Trump thinks at this point anyway. But so normally, though, I always send it to the president. Trump has gotten it. Obama's gotten them. Bush got them. All of that, right? And we didn't have a family when Bush was in office. But I think what did we do? I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. I can't remember. But anyway, and Senator Cruz gets one. Senator, what's the other one's name? Can't remember it now. Governor Abbott gets one. All these people get them, right? Rick Perry got one when he was governor. So I just feel like it just helps maybe inform the staff or so they see faces or I don't know. It just, and then also the adoption thing. And then the kids are brown and we're white, all that kind of stuff. So I do that. And here is the interesting thing. And Eric, actually, you asked the question that I was about to answer. Do I ever hear back from any of them? We always get a Christmas card back from the president's office. It's just it's not the one that you get, I promise. I've seen yours. Yours are like pop-up cards. It's just like a postcard like this that is just printed with the signature on it. And it is in an envelope, but it says, and we usually get it in like February. It comes really late afterwards, but Cornyn is the other senator, yes. But I hear from the president always. I guess their office, just if you send them. What I sent the Obamas a wedding invitation when we got married, and we got a congratulations card on our marriage from the Obamas. So and it's still actually, I think that is still on our refrigerator because I think it is so cool. I told Todd, I was like, they may show up. Stranger things have happened, right? So, and it's just neat getting a piece of mail from the White House that's not asking you for a donation, right? And so I don't think I've ever heard back from the senators sometimes. Almost, I don't think I've ever heard back from the governor's office. I've heard back from the mayor's office. Yeah, so I do that. I just think it's, and it costs maybe like $10 all in the cost of the card and the postage and all that kind of stuff. So, frame the card from the Obamas. Oh, I drop it in the back of photos all the time. Little name drop. I got a note from Obama on my 40th birthday. It's one of my treasures. Yes, you're tight especially with Michelle. My sister has received holiday cards from the president. I'm jelly. Yeah, it's kind of cool. The kids are just like, oh my God, like they think it's so neat that we do that. So, and Monica, you have the same problem with bananas that you have with avocados. Eat them all or go bad. Yes, same thing. And there's no rhyme or reason to how the bananas go bad either. Fortunately, I like a really ripe banana as much as I like an underripe one. So if the outside gets all spotty, as long as the inside is not turned to mush, I will eat that. Like I am fine with it. And I'll just cut around the mushy bits. But the outside, I don't care what it looks like on a banana. And and Crystal's saying that the paper bag speeds the ripening. Good way to space out ripening. And then also the little cuties. We eat a ton of those in this house too. Those like little clementine oranges. And I put those in that same basket kind of that we put the other fruits and vegetables in that aren't refrigerated. And they are, most of the time I can get through them, but occasionally towards the end, it's like your thumb will go through it and I'm like, nope, not eating that one. So, anyway, and Michelle's saying, Obama texts me all the time. No joke. Does he know it's you? I'm so mean to you. And Dad says to separate them. My dad says to, is he watching right now? Don't leave the bananas in the bunch. I've also heard that if you wrap the end of the bananas, like the tip thing, in cellophane or tinfoil, that will work anyway. And by the way, y'all, my dad is having heart surgery on Monday, so say a little prayer for him. Positive wishes to Daryl Smith, having it in Houston. Send great wishes that way for a heart surgery. So, yeah. And Michelle says that Obama wants her money. Yes, exactly. Speaking of money and politics, you're so good with the segs today. Something that drives me insane that I've been seeing a lot lately is when people are, so the news came out about the tennis pavilion at the White House and how Melania unveiled it and all this stuff. And it was just like last week that it happened. And people are all like, ugh, just think about all the better other things we could have spent that money on, the vaccines and shit. So, and I've said this before, I would rather walk across hot coals on my lips than to defend these people. But here's the thing. You can't spend that money on something else. That money is National Park Service money and like preservation of the mall or National Trust money, or there's some other organizations that money was allocated to that they spent it. This was all put into motion a long time ago. She probably was not even involved in the least other than figureheading it at the end. Same with the Rose Garden when they redid the Rose Garden last year, or maybe earlier this year. I don't remember what it was. That was one of those projects that had been on paper forever, needed to happen. Supposedly the Rose Garden looked good, but it was garbage, like just mushy, no drainage, all kinds of stuff like that. So it drives me nuts when people are like, oh, well, we could have reallocated that money to buy more vaccines or something. It just drives me insane when it doesn't work like that. And then here locally, there's a thing where Clybourne Park, which is in downtown Dallas, they built it over a highway. They announced that they're putting this big ass, like the largest, tallest interactive fountain in North America or something on it, which I don't love the idea of the fountain on it. I think it's going to cause I think it's ugly, first of all. I think it's going to cause a whole bunch of traffic issues because there's a highway that goes under it. So just can you imagine when that thing is going off, the people who are kind of careening under it and then back over, like I just think it's a disaster waiting to happen. Windy, everyone's going to be wet all the time. I don't get it. But I didn't donate the money for it. So the best family, I think, donated $10 million for this thing. And people are like, oh, they could have donated that money to a food bank. First of all, how do you know they didn't? I don't count other people's money, so don't count mine. How do you know that? How do you know what else they did? And also, everything can't be always in response to a direct need. Sometimes we need to invest in things too. So if they think that this is the best way, pardon the pun, the best way to improve the park and create more for the future, for the future of our city, I'm okay with that. I don't like this specific idea, but sometimes it's response and sometimes it's investment, right? And so I just drives me nuts. How do y'all feel about that? And then people go on Facebook also and they just share they could, and I agree that some of these announcements are a little tone deaf right now, like announcing a $10 million fountain the week after the largest Dallas food bank, North Texas food bank distribution in like the history of the organization. Kind of tone deaf. Yeah. I mean, I agree. They could have waited until like January, February to announce this exact same thing. Or even just like this week. And then the tennis thing, I think they had to finish it because it's finished, right? So anyway, curious what y'all think. And Europe, Michelle, you have a point. Europe has a lot of fountains, and I love them. I agree, I love them. This one, though, this is like a Bellagio style with lights on it and all. It's very, very Vegas-y. Dallas is becoming the city of LED lights. I actually love it, and a lot of people think, oh, it's going to be so dated. They can just turn them off. Most of them, you don't even notice that they're there unless they're on. So I feel like people react to getting facts, and I'm not on social media for that. Yeah, exactly. I just want I just want to have fun, make people laugh. That's what I want to do. I'll touch on social issues, but I'll do it with a mind for sarcasm or hypocrisy or just kind of making people think. So, what else? I saw today that I love Black Panther. I don't even like superhero movies, but I love Black Panther. They're not going to recast it. So, since Chadwick Boseman passed away, they're not going to recast a new Black Panther. So they're just going to instead, in the next ones, I think they may have already filmed a second one, but in the future ones, they're going to be exploring different areas of Wakanda and all that kind of stuff. And that's sweet and all. I don't know if that's the smartest decision. It feels overly sentimental too. It's like saying we'll never change James Bond, but I mean, it's their decision. We'll see how the hell that goes. And my sister is saying, like school funds, people think money needs to go towards whatever, but most schools most of the money that schools receive have to be spent on certain things. Exactly. And it's tacky, but it's their choice. Money can't buy you class. And who knows if they even designed it or if someone said, hey, we want to do this. Can you donate to it? We'll put your name on it. It's going to be called the Best Fountain, I think. I love that name, Best. And I don't agree with not recasting. I don't think it's what he would want. I agree totally. I think he would want that franchise to carry on. And I really feel like if you remove the Black Panther from it, that it's not Black Panther anymore. I don't know. We'll see. And that's all I have today, y'all. Let me see if y'all have any other questions. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off. So, shall I get a resolution? They're talking about Mason comes off of probation today if he got good grades. So we'll see what happens. Okay, with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you. It's important to know you're loved. I love that you watch this. Thank you for the free therapy. And be best. I actually think Melania is really pretty. I know nothing about her politics or what goes on inside her head, but I think she is beautiful and glamorous. And First Lady has no official responsibilities. She didn't even get any money afterwards, like to set up her office, really. So anyway, all of that. I will see you Monday at 4:30, hopefully for a Christmas tour. Yay! Y'all are so excited, right? And in the meantime, have a great weekend. Stay dry, stay warm, stay away from people. And we'll see you Monday. Bye. Be best.